So in this particular question we are going to find the value of I1 and I2 from the circuit. Okay, so we have basically a transformer and a capacitor, input voltage source, and the resistive load, right? So from the circuit you can see that the value of j omega m, that is equals to J3, right? Now you need to replace this transformer with the equivalent model. So you need to replace this particular dot with the equivalent voltage source in the primary side as well as for the secondary side. And as you know, the positive sign of this dependent voltage source will be in the direction of the dot, right? So dot is in this direction, so the positive sign will be on up side and the negative side will be on the downside. Similarly in the secondary side, dot is here, so it will be, the positive sign will be here and the negative sign will be here, right? Now let us find the value of this dependent voltage sources. The value of dependent voltage sources in the primary side will be depend on the current in the secondary coil, and similarly for the secondary side it will be depend on the current in the primary side, right? Okay, so in the secondary side you can see this current I2 is leaving the dot, so it will be j omega m minus of I2 as it is leaving the dot. And similarly for the sorry, this is primary side. Okay, so in the secondary side the value of this voltage source, that is j omega m I1, because this is positive I1 because the current I1 is entering to the dot, right? Okay, so now you have all the parameters, you know. Now you have to apply the KVL. Okay, so you have you know the value of j omega m is J3. Here it is J3. Now just replace this particular value. Okay, now apply the KVL, okay, in the both primary and the secondary side, right? So in the primary side this is minus 12 minus j4 I1 plus minus of j3 I2, and this is what j5 I1 current flowing in the primary side. So from this equation you can get this particular relation between I1 and I2, and let us assume this equation is equation number 1. And in the secondary coil similarly you can apply the KVL in the secondary loop, and from there you can also find the value of equation, and that is the relation between I1 and I2. From equation 1 and equation 2 you can easily solve and you can easily find the value of I1 and I2. So here we have the value of I2 is minus j4.5 and the value of I1 is minus j51/2, right?